Welcome back to the channel, everyone. Today, we're diving into a story that is shaking China to its core. Scenes so surreal that most people would never believe them. Shop clerks kneeling before a beggar, crowds fighting over free meal boxes, and countless lives slipping into quiet desperation. And trust me, that's only the surface. Before we begin, if you find this content valuable, please hit the like button, subscribe, and leave a comment below. Your support is what keeps this channel going and helps us bring you more raw, unfiltered stories that few dare to talk about. In today's video, we'll uncover a series of strange, heartbreaking, and deeply unsettling events spreading across the mainland. Stories that reveal the real state of life for millions, far more clearly than any official report ever could. But what worries us most lies behind these scenes. Let's get started. In recent weeks, a series of strange and haunting images have emerged across mainland China, painting a bleak portrait of a society sinking into a silent crisis. One shocking scene began inside a small women's clothing boutique in a provincial town. A beggar quietly walked in and knelt before the shop staff, asking for a few coins to get through the day. Yet what stunned people even more was the reaction from the store employees. Two young women in neatly pressed uniforms immediately rushed over, knelt down in front of the man, and bowed repeatedly. In trembling voices, they explained that they hadn't made a single sale the entire day. "Could you help us by buying something?" one of them pleaded, her eyes turning red. They said they were barely any better off than the beggar himself. In Shanghai, China's wealthiest metropolis, nearly a dozen men and women can be seen kneeling every day at the northern entrance of Renji Hospital on Puyan Road. They hold signs begging for money for medical treatment, saying hospital fees have pushed their families to the brink of collapse. A few years ago, authorities aggressively removed homeless people from city centers, especially in top-tier cities. But this year, the scenes have returned, worse than before, revealing an economy that may be deteriorating far beyond what the public had imagined. Some netizens remarked that 2024 is just the beginning. Next year, the number of beggars will be unimaginable. A chilling prediction has gone viral. From 2026 onwards, those who can still earn money will be lucky to eat 3 meals a day. Those who can't will eat 1 meal every 3 days. Predictions that once sounded exaggerated now mirror reality. A personal charity blogger recorded herself handing out free lunchboxes to homeless people. In mere seconds, a crowd swarmed her like a storm. Some snatched food right out of her hands. Others grabbed one box and came back for more. She yelled repeatedly, "Please wait. If you already got one, don't take another." But no one remained calm enough to listen. In the end, they pushed each other aside, opened the trunk of her car, and helped themselves, turning the area into total chaos. On another street, an elderly woman over 80 bent down to pick up scrap paper, used cups, and even leftover food from trash bins. A young man filming said, "She's already this old, and still has to live like this. It's truly heartbreaking." Elsewhere, a homeless man was found eating food meant for stray cats. Bystanders tried to stop him, saying the food had been soaked in the rain and left outside all night. But he replied, "The rain washed it clean. It's cleaner than before." Then he calmly finished eating it. In another city, a housewife who had not worked in years decided to look for a job after her family's income dropped sharply. She was shocked when her friend told her she had been job hunting for 6 months without success because all job listings required applicants to be under 35. "The government forces us to retire later, but companies only want people under 35, so how are we, in our 40s, supposed to survive?" she asked in despair. A 40-year-old man in Shanghai said he had been unemployed for 6 months. His 4-year-old son asked him, "Dad, why are you always home? You're not going to work anymore?" The man choked up, "I want to work so badly." The tragedies continue one after another. A single mother in Guangdong shared that her rent was due soon, but she only had 200 yuan left. She took night shifts to earn a little more but had no one to watch her child. In desperation, she put sleeping pills in the baby's milk bottle so he would sleep through the night while she worked. The image shocked the entire internet, widely described as a knife stabbing the conscience of society. Economic hardship is visible even in the smallest meals. A restaurant owner said his beef bone soup with fried dough sticks and sticky rice balls cost 21 yuan, now reduced to 20.8 yuan, and he sells up to 600 bowls a day. 3 years ago, no one cared about 0.2 yuan, he sighed. But now, people try to stretch 1 yuan into 2. Even those who used to be well off admitted that their consumption habits have downgraded. One woman said, "I used to buy outfits by the set. Now I haven't bought anything in 2 months. Even my e-bike, I only charge it when electricity is cheapest." In Hangzhou, a man was hospitalized with fried rice syndrome after eating rice stored in the fridge for 2 days to save money. Doctors said the Bacillus cereus bacteria can release potent toxins that lead to multi-organ failure, but the poor now have no choice but to eat leftovers and old food. In Anhui, subsidies for second children were suddenly cut. Many families were even asked to return previously received payments by deducting them from childcare subsidies. And it's not just Anhui. Residents in Hubei, Shaanxi, Jiangsu, Hunan, and other provinces reported the same. Netizens bluntly stated, "The government has run out of money." Even the food delivery sector, the last lifeline for the working class, has become difficult to survive. One delivery rider said he worked nearly the entire day but couldn't afford dinner. "There are orders," he said, "but you can't grab them fast enough. They disappear in a blink." A shocking incident in Suzhou involved a delivery worker who stabbed his manager to death after being unfairly fined when he tried to resign. Many said he had been pushed to the breaking point. Despair is creeping into dreams of a better life as well. A lottery player revealed that the director of the local welfare lottery center was under investigation for massive financial misconduct. "I've bought tickets for 10 years and never won anything," he said bitterly. At the bottom of society, people are voicing their rawest desperation. Maybe we should just have a war. Let everything burn down so we can start over. I can't live like this anymore. Many netizens admitted that these words reflect their true feelings, hoping for some massive change, however devastating, to break the hopeless cycle they are trapped in. Some even said they wished the regime would collapse so that life could begin anew. Across mainland China, multiple respiratory viruses are surging at the same time. Seasonal influenza, new CO-19 variants, rhinovirus, and RSV are all spreading in parallel. Children's hospitals in many cities are packed to capacity. Long lines snake through respiratory clinics. Parents wait through the night with kids suffering from high fever, coughing, runny noses, and breathing difficulties. Health authorities admit that the dominant flu strain this season, AH3N2, is one most people have little or no immunity against. Yet there are still no targeted vaccines and no specific antiviral drugs widely available to the public. Tragic stories keep surfacing. A 39-year-old woman in Heilongjiang, diagnosed with flu, refused to be hospitalized and tried to ride it out at home. Just 3 days later, several lobes of her lungs had turned white on scans, a classic white lung case. In Hong Kong, a 2-year-old girl with severe influenza A and encephalopathy, and a 13-year-old girl with influenza B, both died after their conditions suddenly worsened. Meanwhile, funerals are seeing more and more young faces. A funeral director in Shaanxi reported that among those born in the 1980s, many have already died prematurely, often from cancer or heart problems. Another undertaker said that in the past 3 years, the number of bodies under 30 has tripled, and 70% of the sudden death cases he sees involved people who were perfectly healthy just days earlier. Netizens are divided over the causes. Some blame toxic food and polluted air. Others quietly point to mass vaccination campaigns and the lack of transparent data. What's clear is that the official numbers don't tell the full story. Between late October and November alone, China reported hundreds of influenza outbreak clusters in schools, with case numbers many times higher than previous weeks. One sneeze from a flu patient can carry hundreds of thousands of viral particles, traveling up to 8 meters. In crowded, poorly ventilated hospitals and classrooms, that's more than enough to keep the contagion alive. While the public struggles with disease and death, China's once celebrated tech dreams are turning into nightmares. Xiaomi's flagship EV, the SU7, was supposed to be a symbol of national pride. Its founder, Lei Jun, boasted that it could compete with Porsche, used aircraft-grade materials, and represented the cutting edge of Chinese innovation. Speculators bought multiple units hoping to flip them for profit. But within months, the fantasy collapsed. Negative reviews flooded social media, battery fires, doors that wouldn't open, endless software glitches, and serious quality problems. Some owners reported that a minor bump could tear open a rear door and damage the axle. Nicknames like Greenbelt Killer and Carbonized Owner went viral. Dealers nationwide are now stuck with mountains of unsold cars. One dealer admitted he bought SU7 Max models for 620,000 yuan each. Today, they're worth barely 440,000. And even at that price, no one wants them. Other dealers refused to take Xiaomi EVs at all, fearing reputational damage and financial loss. At the same time, fatal crashes involving the SU7 triggered public outrage. Instead of addressing safety concerns head-on, Lei Jun called on fans to fight smear campaigns online, which only fueled more anger. His follower count on Douyin plunged, and with it, the myth of the infallible national tech hero. The financial pressure is not limited to EVs. China's gold market, once a safe harbor in turbulent times, is now in crisis. While global gold prices have cooled, domestic prices in China have stayed high or even climbed further. On the ground, gold shops are shuttering, and many have quietly stopped buying back gold from customers. A major tax change abruptly removed favorable deductions for much of the gold industry, sharply increasing costs per gram. The gap between the selling price and buyback price has widened so much that small retailers fear they'll be wiped out by a single price swing. Giants like Chow Tai Fook rapidly expanded during the boom years, opening thousands of stores from 2021 to 2024. Now they are closing hundreds of locations, especially in poorer third and fourth tier cities where consumer spending has collapsed. For ordinary Chinese, gold is supposed to be a hedge against inflation and a collapsing property market. Yet at over 1,000 yuan per gram at one point, many families simply cannot afford to buy. Franchisees are reluctant to restock at such high levels, and gold is increasingly becoming a speculative tool for large investors rather than a safe savings vehicle for households. At the same time, the banking sector is shaky, with the ICBC zero balance incident on October 29th raising deep doubts. When millions of users opened their banking apps and saw their life savings briefly reset to zero, the message was clear. Nothing is truly secure. While the economy and markets struggle, the Chinese military is undergoing its own political earthquake. Under the banner of anti-corruption, Xi Jinping's trusted generals are being purged one after another. Powerful figures such as He Weidong and Miao Hua, once key pillars of the Fujian faction that helped Xi rise, have fallen from grace. In their place, Central Military Commission Vice Chairman Zhang Yuxia has emerged as the real strongman of the PLA. State media images now show Zhang front and center at major military meetings, while many senior posts remain officially vacant or occupied by acting appointees. This internal struggle reveals deep mistrust between Xi and his own officers. Over the past decade, Xi fast-tracked younger loyalists into top positions, only to later accuse many of corruption, disloyalty, or conspiracies. Nearly half of the full generals he personally promoted have been investigated or sidelined. As a result, power is now heavily concentrated in Zhang Yuxia's hands, promotions are tightly controlled, and morale within the ranks is deteriorating. Officers see that loyalty to Xi is no guarantee of safety, and that sudden downfall can strike without warning. All the while, the Chinese Communist Party is extending its reach far beyond its borders. According to former intelligence insiders, the Ministry of State Security's 10th Bureau systematically monitors overseas Chinese through platforms like WeChat, Douyin, and TikTok. Your chat history, likes, and comments can be used to map your personal network and political stance. Some people who criticized the regime abroad have reportedly disappeared or been arrested after returning to China. No trial, no explanation. Psychological warfare is also part of the toolkit. Targeted content designed to unsettle, intimidate, or break down individuals mentally. Western democracies are beginning to respond. Legislators in Canada, Australia, and elsewhere have warned about transnational repression, including intimidation, threats, and even assassination plots targeting dissidents on foreign soil. Taiwan has raised alarms over Beijing's so-called long-arm jurisdiction, where Chinese authorities issue wanted notices and fabricated charges against Taiwanese politicians and activists to intimidate them and undermine Taiwan's sovereignty. Taken together, these stories, from overwhelmed hospitals and sudden deaths to collapsing EV hype, a distorted gold market, infighting generals, and a global surveillance machine, reveal a regime facing pressure on every level. The outward picture of strength masks a deep sense of insecurity. Before we wrap up, we'd love to hear what you think. If you agree with the concerns we've raised, comment 1. If you have a different opinion or disagree, comment 2. Your voice matters, and we want to understand how you see this situation. Do you believe these unfolding crises will push China toward meaningful reform, or will they lead to even tighter control? Share your thoughts in the comments below. And if you found this analysis helpful, please like, subscribe, and share this video with your friends. Your support keeps China Undercover alive and helps us continue bringing you deep, honest reporting on the stories behind the headlines.